Hello and welcome back to Small Screen Stories. This is the show where I go over all the news in the world of entertainment and pop culture, specifically movies and TV shows. My name is Edward Lauder. I'm the editor of Small Screen. You can follow us at Small Screen Co. everywhere on Instagram. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, please give us 5 stars in the reviews. That'd be really, really helpful. And if you're watching over on YouTube, a like and a subscribe would be really, really much appreciated. And if you're on Facebook, then follow, like the page. That'd be great. Now let's get straight into the news, which you'll find all of the written articles over at small-screen.co.uk. But I wanted to get into what I believe to be one of the most interesting bits of news of the day. And that's that WandaVision will reportedly introduce Doctor Strange 2's main villain. So this comes to us from Bounding Into Comics. So they're a website that I'm actually quite familiar with. They tend to post, they do have the occasional scoop. This is kind of one that they're saying is a rumor. That they're basically saying that Doctor Strange 2, that the main villain Doctor Strange 2 could be Mephisto. And that actually Mephisto will be first introduced in the MCU in WandaVision. So this is quite interesting because Mephisto is a villain that a lot of people have wanted to see. It's a Doctor Strange villain, usually in the comics. He goes up against Doctor Strange because he's quite magical. And Bounding Into Comics, do go and have a look at their article over there. They go into this kind of rumor in quite a lot of detail. But what they're saying is that basically the show will open up the MCU to the multiverse, and that's how Mephisto will end up coming into the MCU through that show. They're also saying, which has actually been said before, that WandaVision, Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2 will all be part of a kind of trilogy. So that means that these films will all be linked, and they'll probably be linked via the multiverse, and also probably Mephisto will have something to do with them, with each film. So basically Mephisto will be kind of the overarching villain in all 3 properties, in all 3 movies, and then Doctor Strange will have to take it upon himself to really deal with this issue, with the issue of Mephisto, and that's probably where that character might end up coming to an end. Well, who knows? But there are rumors of like who might play Mephisto. I've heard rumors that what's his name? Sam Raimi's, so that the actor that he likes to, Bruce Campbell, there we go, that's his name, that Bruce Campbell could play that role. That'd be interesting if he gets to play that role, but that would be kind of a bit more jokey than what it seems as though they're going with. So we'll just have to wait and see. I do like this rumor. Again, it is a rumor, so nothing is really confirmed. Bounding into comics make it very clear that this is a rumor that they've heard, that it hasn't actually been officially revealed or that their sources can actually verify is the truth. But I think it's quite fun. I think it's about time that we see Mephisto in the MCU. A lot of people want to see him, and there's also been some talk of a gender swap, so that it could be a woman. I mean, who knows? That would be. I don't think that'd be a problem. I don't think that would really be too problematic as far as the character's concerned. I think that would be quite interesting, actually. But I know some people won't like that. There are always people out there that get rather annoyed about that sort of stuff. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Right, so moving on from that and moving on to some more kind of MCU-based news, and that's that a star from the Netflix show Cobra Kai is rumored to be in talks to play Iceman in an MCU kind of X-Men reboot. Well, I say X-Men reboot, but that's not quite right. So this comes from a Geekosity. So Mikey Sutton over there is the editor and founder of Geekosity, and he has very, very good contacts. I say this every time I talk about anything that comes from Geekosity. Basically, a lot of the stuff that they post, that Mikey Sutton posts, a lot of it ends up being true. If you were paying attention on the Disney Investors Day presentation, then you'll know that a lot of what was announced, especially in the Marvel side of things, was basically already revealed by Mikey Sutton, which is quite interesting. But I'll just bring up what he has to say about the actor in question, which is Tanner Buchanan. So he's a great actor, actually. I'll show you a picture of him in a minute. So Cobra Kai actor Tanner Buchanan is among the actors being eyed to play the mutant Iceman in the MCU. Sources have revealed to me that Iceman could be among the first X-Men cast for Disney. His debut is being discussed for an upcoming Spider-Man movie. So that's the thing where I said it's like an X-Men reboot. Well, it looks like they might introduce him first in a Spider-Man film. So what do you guys think about that? I think it's Tanner Buchanan is a really good actor. I think he's really good in Cobra Kai. We already know that he's very adept at fighting, at on-screen fighting, which is something that not a lot of actors can do very well. He can do it very well. So I think he's quite young as well, which would be perfect for Iceman. I think that's a really good choice. We'll just have to wait and see who they end up going with. But let me know your thoughts on this. Who would you like to see play Iceman? There's definitely going to be an Iceman in the MCU. He's a big X-Men, or member of the X-Men. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Right, moving on to Black Panther 2. So there was a big scoop, a bunch of scoops over at Fandom Wire. And this comes from Andy Signal that writes his scoops up for them. And he's basically revealed quite a lot of stuff about what's going on or what's going to happen in this Black Panther movie. One of the things that he said would happen is that the characters in Black Panther 2 will end up battling for the mantle of Black Panther. So this, of course, they're kind of forced into this after the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman, who, of course, played T'Challa, the original Black Panther. This film will have to deal with that. Ryan Coogler had to kind of not really go back to the drawing board, but kind of try and tweak the script so they could kind of deal with that is the thing that they were trying to, or they are trying to do anyway. So what are they going to do? Well, it looks like they're going to have the likes of Shuri and M'Baku, possibly Daniel Kaluuya's character, and maybe someone else that we don't know that's going to be involved in this film, all battle each other for to be named the next Black Panther. I'm imagining that Shuri, apparently she'll end up coming out on top. And I'm imagining that she'll come up with some sort of ingenious invention to beat all of them. So they might think that she won it by proxy, but actually no, she's just smarter than the rest of them. I think that's what's going to happen. I'll just like to read what he said, what Andy Signal wrote, to give him credit for this. So bring that up a bit. So yeah. We were told that currently the film's opening will feature Chadwick's Black Panther character in costume for a short, respectful tribute and sends off to the character. The specifics of that scene are still being decided on, but T'Challa will pass on. This will leave the state of Wakanda and the throne in disarray. We're told many characters will vie for the throne, but ultimately one will prevail. We've learned Shuri will become the next Black Panther. So they're pretty adamant that that's going to happen. I think that makes perfect sense as far as I'm concerned. What do you guys think about this? Is this something you'd like to see? Would you like to see kind of a big fight for the Black Panther role, about Black Panther mantle, the throne? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Right, moving on from that and moving on to Riz Ahmed. So he's actually revealed that he won't be in Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage, and he's also basically saying he's not going to be involved in the Star Wars, in like any future Star Wars franchises, so he won't be in in the Andor series. He revealed this. It was an interview with Collider, I believe. Let me just check. No, it's a Hollywood Reporter, sorry. Yeah, so the Hollywood Reporter do all of these interviews with these actors that are kind of in the running to get awards or be nominated. So he is in a film called The Sound of Metal, I believe, where he plays a drummer. Apparently it's very good. I haven't seen it yet. I really want to. But he was also in Venom, and he was the main villain in Venom, and he was in Rogue One. He died in both films, so this is kind of like a no-brainer. But you know what? The Hollywood Reporter still asked him about it. I know some people kind of commented on Twitter saying, yeah, he died. Why are you writing about this? But it's what he said. So he said, I think I'm done with Venom. It's pretty conclusive. Dude got blown up in a spaceship. And then he was asked about Rogue One. He says, I just haven't heard of that, to be honest. As in, like, he hasn't heard of the Andor series. I'm not so sure about that, but it sounds to me like he just hasn't heard that he's going to be in that, and that's filming at the moment in London, as is Kenobi, which I'm going to go on to in a second. But yeah, Riz Ahmed is not going to be in Venom 2, and he won't be in the Cassian Andor series, but we kind of knew that already. So what are your thoughts about that? I love Riz Ahmed. I'm a bit sad that he won't be in these upcoming kind of franchises, because I think he's great. I think he was done a massive disservice in the first Venom film. I also think he was done a pretty big disservice in Rogue One. But you know what? That's all in the past now. He's now looking like he's going to get all these kind of Oscar nominations and stuff in his future. He's got a big career ahead of him. He's already had a really good, impressive career. So, good for him. Let's see him get some Oscar, some Oscar buzz around his performance, which I will watch that film. I need to watch that film. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Right. Moving on to our exclusive of the, week, basically. It's been a bit of a... January is always a bit difficult because not much is going on really in January. People seem to be a bit depressed. So hopefully the show will make you a bit less depressed because we're talking about fun things. So this is the exclusive that Liam Neeson will be returning as Qui-Gon Jinn in the Kenobi series. So this we were told by a couple of sources, one that came to us quite recently to confirm that it was going to happen. So this actually comes after Liam Neeson himself admitted in an interview with Collider that he'd be up for returning as the character in the Kenobi series. That interview then went out, and then I was contacted by a source whom I've worked with in the past. So I'll bring this up here for you guys. So the source said that deal's already done. Liam Neeson will be playing Qui-Gon Jinn in Kenobi. So then I kind of pressed him for a bit more information, and then this is what he had to say. Honestly, I'm not 100% certain on how they'll bring the character back. It sounds like it'll be a flashback sequence, yet they could also be thinking of bringing him back as a Force ghost. More info when I get it. So after that, I kind of went around asking other people to corroborate this. A number of people did, but they didn't want to, that they refused to be direct quoted, which is fine. I always ask my sources if they're okay being directly quoted or not. Majority of them say yes, some of them say no. But they said yes, it's happening. And It's one of those things. I'm pretty certain that it won't be a flashback sequence. I think it'll be a Force. He'll appear to Kenobi as a Force ghost, and I think a lot of it might have to do with Kenobi realizing what's happened to Anakin Skywalker. So I think there's going to be a scene between Ewan McGregor and Ewan McGregor and wanting to talk to his former master, his Jedi master, which was Qui-Gon Jinn. He was Qui-Gon Jinn's Padawan. And there's a lot, but I think it's going to be quite interesting because there's a lot been discussed about how Anakin actually wouldn't have ended up going to the dark side if Qui-Gon Jinn had survived. So a lot really depended on that, and that's one of the really interesting things about the prequel, is the fact that, or the prequels, even that film, is the fact that Anakin's future really hinged on that moment, on that fight with Darth Maul. So I think that will be maybe the focus of an entire episode. I think he'll only be in one episode, and I think it will be a really interesting one for Star Wars fans because it will kind of open up that aspect of things, the fact that Kenobi will think he's really, really failed Anakin because he's worked out what's happened to him and that he is Darth Vader now, and I think that he'll seek guidance and counseling from his Jedi Master, who is Qui-Gon Jinn, and who will turn up as a Force Ghost. He actually has already done so in some of the animated shows. He's turned up as a Force Ghost in the past, and they're really interesting scenes. And I think it'll be something that, I am personally very excited to see it. Let me know what you guys think about this. Are you excited to see Qui-Gon Jinn back? Liam Neeson, he's coming back. He's really fit, and he's in brilliant shape. So it's not that difficult. But the whole reason why I didn't think they do a flashback sequence is because, first off, there's not really any reason to, I don't think. Secondly, I don't think they should be de-aging anybody, especially after I love that scene, but Luke didn't look great in The Mandalorian Season 2. So I think they might want to keep costs down. They probably already have to pay the likes of Liam Neeson quite a bit to turn up in this. Probably not. I don't know how much. I didn't ask how much they're paying him, but They want to keep it down, cost down, and I think story-wise, it makes more sense for him to turn up as a Force ghost. But let me know what your thoughts in the comments below on that. Let me know. Right, moving on. So now we're on to the TV section of the show, and Jason Isaacs has actually revealed that he'd love to play the Grand Inquisitor in a live-action Star Wars project. So this would probably be a TV show that he'd want to play him in. So Jason Isaacs actually voiced the Grand Inquisitor in Star Wars Rebels, and he I think he said, wait, I want to get the right quote. This was, I believe it was an interview with Collider. Yeah, it was. So Collider's been doing a lot of interviews with Star Wars actors. So he said, "I'm open to anything. It's always about the script. I don't just want to turn up so that I can take some photographs and go to conventions. I'd like to play parts. The Inquisitor was a great part when I played it, and if the Inquisitor was a great part again, I'd be up for it. But yeah, Katie Sackhoff had a very good time. I know Katie, and I'll say I loved being part of the Star Wars world. They invited me in. They invited me in, although I've only ever been an animated character before. So yeah, I think that sounds about right to have him play the Grand Inquisitor. I mean, would it be in the Kenobi series? That makes sense because we know that Darth Vader's involved in the Kenobi series. We know Hayden Christensen's coming back as Darth Vader. So this would be it would be during his time of having these Inquisitors and the Grand Inquisitor. So I think that would be really cool to see him in live action and being played by Jason Isaacs. And we also revealed that Lars Mikkelsen is coming back as Thrawn. So they really do like to bring back the voice actors, especially the ones that with an acting background, which of course Jason Isaacs does have. Some of the voice actors that are just straight voice actors haven't been able to return, which is like Rosario Dawson played Ahsoka Tano. She didn't voice the character. I always forget Ashley something, the woman that voiced Ahsoka Tano in the series. Remind me, I can't remember, and I'm not. Let me just wait. I'll look that up actually. Ahsoka Tano voice actress. Ashley Eckstein. Okay, I always forget that name. But yeah, she was the one that voiced the character in the shows, but she didn't get to play her in live action, probably because not because she is a voice actress, but she has acted in things before. But maybe because there's something more like that, she didn't quite look the part. So maybe Rosario Dawson was just tested better on screen. Like that's always a possibility. But the likes of Jason Isaacs and Lars Mikkelsen and Katie Sackhoff as well, really they do look the parts as well. So I think it makes sense to see all of them. Jason Isaacs come back as the Grand Inquisitor, possibly in a Kenobi series. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Right, moving on to Doctor Who. So we've been talking a lot about what's going on with Doctor Who. So Jodie Whittaker is leaving the show after season 13. So who's going to be replacing her? Well, there have been a bunch of names thrown around. So I myself have heard like Daniel Kaluuya, who I don't think would do it. Himesh Patel from Yesterday and Tennant was another one. I think he'd be good, actually. Then the likes of Chris Marshall, Michaela Cole, Richard Ayoade have been other names mentioned. Well, now there's the fourth favourite to play the role is Michael Sheen. So Michael Sheen, you might know from, he's in loads of stuff. The Masters of Sex. He's in. I'm blanking on a lot of his stuff now. He was in The Queen. Was it called The Queen? Yeah, I think it was The Queen. As Tony Blair. He's just a fantastic actor. Really, really good Welsh actor. Well, British, but Welsh. And he was in Good Omens as well. You might have seen him in Good Omens. And also the Twilight series. He was the evil vampire in that. Brilliant actor. He would make a fantastic Doctor Who. According to... so he's now... His odds... have been slashed. Sorry, I don't like talking about odds because I don't really get it. I'm not a betting guy, but his odds have been slashed from 20 to 1 to 12 to 1. So that's good. That means he's now the fourth favourite to play the role, according to Ladbrokes, which is a UK-based betting company. And they actually released a statement to the Daily Express in which they said Michael Sheen might just be the perfect replacement for Jodie Whittaker, and plenty of punters reckon he may well get the nod. So I really like the idea of him playing Doctor Who. I think he would be a bit of a throwback to some of the previous ones before Christopher Eccleston took on the role. He's kind of more old school. as far as Doctor Who's concerned. He's a brilliant actor as well. Then again, the thing is, they tend to give it to people that aren't massively well known, and Michael Sheen is a pretty well known actor. So maybe he's a bit too big for the role. That's one thing the one thing that I think might be slightly problematic in getting him to do the role. I also think he'd only be around for like 1 or 2 seasons. They might want someone who'd be around for longer. I'm pretty sure they would have wanted Jodie Whittaker to stay around for longer than she did. I mean, 3 seasons, not a bad, it's quite a long time, but I think Matt Smith did 4, Christopher Eccleston only did 1. I think maybe David Tennant did 3 as well. Maybe he did 4, 3, but I mean, they would have liked her to stay on for a while longer, I think. But now they're in this position where they're going to have to look for another Doctor. And I think Michael Sheen is a brilliant replacement. I think a lot of people will be very happy with that casting. Richard Ayoade is another one that I think is a great idea. I like Himesh Patel as well. As I said before, Daniel Kaluuya I think is a bit too well known, and his career's going other places right now. I think Himesh Patel as well, Michael Sheen as well, they're very big names that people are mentioning. So maybe we need to think about who, like the other names like the Chris Marshall, Michaela Cole, maybe these are names that people aren't so familiar with. Well, I think in the end of the day, the BBC they're going to cast the person that they think's the best for the role. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Right, moving on. And Netflix has officially passed 200 million subscribers, which is great news for Netflix. That's really, really good news for Netflix. So this was revealed by Netflix. We got it from comicbook.com. So what does this mean? Well, it means it's the world's biggest world's biggest streaming service, but we already knew that. It was revealed that they had an additional 8.5 million paid subscribers in the fourth quarter of last year, most of them located in the United States and Canada, with 73.9 million paid members as at the end of 2020. So that was in Canada, I think. So, in North America, sorry. So United States and Canada. So people, it's like Netflix is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which is great news for Netflix. One of the problems Netflix has is it's still not in the black. It's still in the red, which means they're still in debt. Quite a lot in debt, actually. So it's a business model that's going to take a long time for them to get into profit. One of the main reasons, I've spoken about this before, why Netflix has a problem is that they have to license a lot of content. So that means most of the money they spend is actually on licensing. So that means that, in order to make money, what they really need to do is make more originals. So that's what they're doing. So we're seeing a lot of, like, Netflix's supposedly biggest hits of the year have been their originals. But the thing is, they don't tell us the numbers for the shows they've licensed or the movies they've licensed. I'm pretty sure they're a lot bigger than the Netflix ones. So, for instance, The Witcher, I think, is still at number 1 as the biggest Netflix original. Then Lupin is in at number 2, which is crazy to me. I think like Bridgerton, maybe Tiger King, Money Heist, season 4, Stranger Things season 3. I think they're all there. The Queen's Gambit did really well as well. I think Queen's Gambit got 62 million households viewing the show in the first 28 days, which is how they released their numbers. Again, a view for Netflix is only 2 minutes of watching the show or a movie. They consider that a view. So I think it's a bit fudged slightly, their numbers. They like to release these massive numbers, like 70 million and 74 million people have watched this show, which is impressive, but it's going to take a while. And Netflix also released a statement. They said 2020 was an incredibly difficult year with extraordinary loss for many families, new restrictions that none of us have ever had to live with before, and great uncertainty. We're enormously grateful that in these uniquely challenging times, we've been able to provide our members around the world with a source of escape, connection, and joy while continuing to build our business. With 8.5 paid net additions in the fourth quarter, we crossed the 200 million paid membership mark. For the full year, we added a record 37 million paid memberships and achieved 25 billion in annual revenue, 24% more year on year, and grew operating profits 76% to 4.6 billion. So, lots of billions, but they're still in they're still operating at a loss. So it's going to take a couple of years before they can really reap the rewards, because they are borrowing a lot of money at the moment. But I don't worry about Netflix. I'm pretty sure they'll be doing very, very well in a couple of years' time, especially when it looks like cinemas are going. People are moving away from cinemas. I hope they don't, but this pandemic's really shown that to be the case, especially studios. So things like Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Hulu in the United States, HBO Max in the United States, they're probably going to see more and more and more subscribers, and more people will opt to watch these things at home rather than go to the cinema. Personally, I'm going to be going to the cinema the minute they open, but I just think that's how things are going. But let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Right, moving on, and on to Bridgerton Season 2 has officially been renewed by Netflix. I just wanted to put that out there because that is great news. We actually reported this a while back that they'd already greenlit the second season, but it's officially happening. So that's just a little bit of nice Netflix news. Other Netflix news, which is not so nice, is that Lucifer writers are teasing a long wait for Season 5B. So that means we're going to be waiting an awful long time, I think. I'll just get up their tweet, because they tweeted about this. So if you don't know the Lucifer writers have their own Twitter account, and they said, "We know everyone wants to know the truth. We know everyone wants to know, but the truth is even we don't know when Lucifer Season 5B will come out. It's not finished yet. The pandemic blew up our plans, but then we haven't. But when we have an official release date, trust us, we're dying to let you know. Same with the trailer." So it sounds like we're going to be waiting a while for Lucifer Season 5 Part B. The Part A came out in 2020. I'm thinking it will be kind of middle of the year. It's going to come out, but it sounds as though they've had a couple of issues as far as the pandemic's concerned. I would have thought that would have affected Season 6 more, because that's the final one that they're about to shoot. I was under the impression that they finished shooting Season 5, like the entirety of Season 5. We're going to have to wait and see. But, I'm pretty sure Lucy fans will be fine waiting a little while longer. A final bit of news, I thought it was funny, but Tiger King's Joe Exotic didn't get pardoned by Donald Trump. And on that bombshell, I'll say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I might come back tomorrow with a bonus episode, like a little short one, about some news that we're working on. But if I don't, I think I will, but if I don't, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you guys on Tuesday. You can follow Small Screen everywhere on social at Small Screen Co. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, on Twitch as well, and on Facebook. If you could like the page and follow the page and like the videos, share the videos, do all that stuff. It really, really helps. Comment as well. That really helps. Comment. Send me your comments. I love talking to you guys on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. All that stuff. Twitter as well. You can follow me at EJ Lauder. You can go to the site, which is at small-screen.co.uk, and read these news articles for yourselves. And that's wonderful when you guys do that. You can comment there as well. Also, if you'd rather listen to this as a podcast, I do release them as podcasts. It's Small Screen Stories. You can find that wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, then please give us a 5-star rating. That'd be really, really great. Right, I'll leave you with that. Have a wonderful weekend, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Goodbye.